Good evening, folks, and welcome to this Pitch Hero webinar. You should all be able to hear me loud and clear. The green bars going up and down on my control panel, so I believe you can all hear me. If you can't hear me, use your chat box and start chatting to me now. We had a team member who spoke brilliantly on a webinar for about 40 minutes and then turned his mic on for the last 5 minutes. So I hope everyone can hear me loud and clear. We'll begin. Thanks for joining us. First thing to say is that here at Pitch Hero, it's very much business as usual. Everything's running as normal. The staff are all working hard, building apps, developing the platform, and hopefully providing you guys with plenty of support. So we still have the support team working as normal and the account managers. So if you have a problem with your website or want to chat or want some advice about how to do something, please do book a call or email support. They can arrange a time to call you back and give you some advice. We've also got a huge amount of content on our blog going right now. If I just escape out of this page, if you visit the Pitch Hero blog at pitchhero.com, you'll see there's lots of really cool information. There's a whole section about how to market your club to boost your fundraising, what other clubs are doing, how much different clubs are raising, etc. We've got lots of good cricket content, some hockey training videos, how to recruit new members. So please do use our blog. It's being updated at least every couple of days, if not daily at the moment. So make use of all those tools that we've got. So if I get us underway, tonight we're going to talk about how to boost your donations and get your fundraising going. So let's go straight into this. There's going to be two parts to tonight. First one is the perfect donations page. So we're going to talk first of all about your club strategy, and each club is a bit different, and this is worth some thought and perhaps having a conversation as a group, as a committee or just a social group. What is going to be your strategy? How are you going to approach it? Setting goals and targets are really important, as we'll come on to, because it gives the whole club and the whole people something to aim for and a reason to donate. And then also some fun ideas around page design. We're improving the donations page every week. And the payments section full stop now. We've got a whole bunch of people that are just improving this section. So for example, this morning I was shown a new feature where you can have multiple images to a payment. So let's say you're selling kit online, you can now have 4 or 5 pages per product. Or if you are doing donations fundraising, you could show 5 or 6 photos of what the project might look like. And that's being developed today, and hopefully should be online later this week or early next week. So we're always updating it, and we're trying to improve the page design. So we'll talk a bit about that. So that's part one. Part two is the marketing of the page, and that's really important because we don't raise any money unless we market it. And we'll look at what's on the club website, what email tools we've got, social media, a really good case study about how to use the local press, and also another good case study about celebrities. So you've got an example there on the right, an Instagram video which Barnes Rugby put out there. They got Johnny Wilkinson to do a video and record and publish it. So we'll show you a few things that other clubs are doing. So if we kick off with part one then. First of all, let's talk about strategy. These are a bit odd times, and I've spoken to hundreds of clubs in the last couple of weeks, and everyone's not quite sure what to do, particularly cricket clubs. Not sure whether to collect membership or not sure whether to ask people for donations if they're hard up, and whether to do any fundraising or just pause everything. So we've had lots of conversations with lots of clubs, and each club's different, but we've sort of come across 3 kind of clubs or 3 models that clubs seem to be following. So the first one is that clubs are doing nothing. That seems to be quite popular. Clubs are not asking for donations. They've collected their membership. They feel financially strong. They've cut lots of their costs. They're not spending much money. So they're just sitting tight and protecting what they have. Our response to that is, great, you're in a financially strong position. That's fantastic. We're not sure how long it's going to last. Lots of people are raising money for COVID-19 now, so it certainly wouldn't look out of place. But if your club is in a financially strong position, that doesn't mean you couldn't raise money for something else. And I've got an example here, which I'll just go on to. This is a Barnes Rugby Club, which I'll come on to later. They're using their website to raise money for the local NHS. And they did a Saturday or a Sunday where they got everyone in the club to do certain exercises, and to take part you had to donate and raise money. And it had nothing to do with Barnes Rugby Club, other than the rugby club were doing it as a great sort of team building club exercise. But the money itself went to the local NHS. So even if your club's in a financially strong position, that doesn't mean you can't raise money. But also, like in the Barnes situation, you could use it as a great fundraising tool So I've done a few quizzes with my friends. I've tried to do a quiz with my parents. That didn't work very well. But you can do lots of fun things that bring the team together and use it to raise a bit of money. So don't think it's sort of you're putting people out or you're asking people to donate who can't donate. This can be a real positive tool for the whole club. Second type of club, they're worried about asking for members for money. They know that some people might be out of work. The club is short. They don't want to be pushing themselves onto their fans. This is quite common in football clubs. I've spoken to a lot of football clubs who almost say it's not the right time to talk. Again, my advice is, and again, looking at the bigger economy and the wider economy, I wouldn't say that. I think there's a huge amount of people that are still working. They are still getting paid, even if it's furloughed. There's a huge amount of public sector workers that are still being paid. So it isn't about asking for lots of money. It's perhaps a £5 £10 we'll come on to. But I think if you get the message right and the strategy right, you as a club, you as club committees and volunteers, you are wonderful servants to the local community. And without you guys, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of kids wouldn't play sport week in, week out. And those pitches need to be looked after, and those changing rooms need to be looked after, etc. So I don't think it's wrong at all to asking the local community to support. And what we found is that when clubs go out to the local community and ask for support, they're quite surprised by just how much support they get. So I really want to be worried about asking, providing you get the right message and the right strategy around it. And the third one, and this is particularly cricket, is they've got this dilemma where they're asking for membership and they're asking for payments, but they can't offer them any cricket. They can't, provide the other part of their deal. You pay us for your membership, we provide you with cricket. And so a couple of cricket clubs are doing a couple of different things. One is they're saying, pay us your entire membership, please. If we don't provide you with cricket this season, we'll either refund it or we'll kick it on to next season. And in most cases, a lot of members have said, yeah, that's fine, we'll pay our membership fees as normal. Some other clubs have said, pay us a portion of your membership fee, or you've got a decision, you can pay the membership fee, or you can make a donation to the club. And that gets recorded, the club knows who you are, so there's an amount of money you're having to pay now. If cricket does come about, if we start playing in July or August, then we'll come back to you and ask you to just increase your donation up to the membership number. And again, that can all be done through the Pitch control panel very easily. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You don't have to be out there asking people to make payments. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can ask people to make donations instead, or you can ask people to make a half payment. All of this can be done through Pitch. So have a think about it. Have a think about your strategy, and really explore the best way of positioning it for your local community and your local members. Our advice to all clubs, though, and this is my advice, is that we recommend everyone does some fundraising, because money in the bank is a great thing to have. And we found that clubs that do it get a fantastic response, and it brings the club together, and it can be done in a very fun way. We recommend that the fundraising is voluntary, it's fun, it's positive, it's a good message. It doesn't have to go to the club, it could go to a local community, it could go to the NHS, but it's certainly something that we think all clubs will benefit from, purely being that we don't know how long this pause in sport will last, and we don't know the ramifications going into next season. So we don't know if people are going to be allowed to stay on in the clubhouse afterwards and have some drinks, or if they're going to have to leave and go home in their cars. We don't know how much sport will be played or when it will be played. So our business models going forward as a club is unknown. So raising a bit of money now through the summer and doing those sorts of bits could be of great help down the line. We recommend that every campaign has a clear goal, and we really recommend this as a financial goal. This doesn't have to be huge, so don't say we're going to raise £1 million. It might be £500, it might be £200. Every goal can be increased. We've had a number of clubs that have said we're going to raise £500, they smash £500 in a couple of days, and they increase it to £1,000. But having that amount's really important, and we have a nice tool where you can show how far you are off from reaching that amount. This is an example here, a cricket club. They put a target up there of £3,000. They've raised £1,300 when I took this screenshot, so almost halfway there. They've explained why they're raising money. People can understand it. They can see, wow, they're already halfway there. Well, if I give them some money, maybe they'll get to 60% there and 70% there. That also gives you something to talk about with your members. So if you set the target, you can write them, you can send them emails, write blog posts, share them on social media and say, we're 60% there, we're 70% there, we're 80% there to our target. So setting a target is something that's really important, and also displaying the reason. This is another example of a club. This is Chile Rugby Club down south near London. They're trying to raise £25,000 to cover them during the COVID-19 pandemic. They write a nice little description here. They've even said an average member, if they could donate £50, that's quite a lot of money. Chile's obviously a very nice area. But if you're uncomfortable saying something like that, and I think I would be, up here, I'd say, you could say £5 for every member gets us £2,000, or £10 for every member gets us £5,000. But giving people that idea of how much to donate can really help the target grow and improve your donations. We've added these amounts here, but members can also add in their own amount as well. Next one, page design. So setting it up. Isn't this fantastic? You look at that picture, and I'm sure every club here, just come out of that. Great, we're still on. I was worried then that I'd lost you. Every club will probably have a character that looks like this chap. I know at my local club, I think we've got about 8 of those sorts of people with fantastic beards. They made this fun. They've made it interesting, haven't they? And they've done a great photo, which looks fantastic. And the challenge is to shave the beast. And why wouldn't you donate to that? What a great idea. He's going to raise £1,000 and he'll donate and he'll shave his beard off. That's fantastic. It's fun. It's really positive. You'll also see down the bottom, they've also put on the tool which lets you give the donor the option of listing their name and how much they donated. So you can switch that tool on. People can just be anonymous and they don't have a name, they don't have an amount, or they can show their photo, they can show their name, they can even write a message saying, thank God he's shaving off the beard, lots of love his wife, etc. Things like that. So we recommend making the most of the page, using the images, using the donation tools, using these bits where you can leave comments. In a couple of weeks' time, you'll be able to put multiple images on here. So perhaps if you come back to this page in a few weeks' time, you might have his beard from different angles. Who knows? Okay, so part 2, now we've set up the page, let's look at how we're going to market it. And this is a lot easier than you think, but it requires a bit of repetition and a couple of basic things. The first thing to do is to write a news post on your club website. Post a news item, talk about the page. You can link from your news item straight to the page. Talk about why you're raising the money, how much you want to raise. If every member gives X amount, then we'll raise this much. You can include a quote, for example, if it's going to something fun. You can include a quote from the chairman. All of these things to create a nice club news item. You can also pin the news item on your homepage, and then, of course, share that news item with social media. This is an example of a club, one you saw earlier. They posted this not long after they went live, a nice news item explaining what's going on, explaining how to donate and where to donate. It takes roughly 5–10 minutes to write this. There's lots of images that you can use from our library stock. Once you've posted it here, click the share button at the bottom and put it straight into your Facebook social media accounts. And ask the committee to share it as well, and ask the committee to like it. The key thing about these news items are keep going back to them. So every week, if you get to 25% or 35% or 50% of your target, write another news item, write an update. Here's an example from Upminster. This was the club that had the chat with the beard. They've written a long piece here about their whole COVID-19 strategy, and it's very well written. It has quotes and sections here from the chairman talking about the latest information from the league and what they think will happen with matches, a little bit about the finances and the membership subscriptions, a little bit about social events that they're hoping to do on Zoom and do some quiz nights. So this sort of stuff's really good, and ask various members of the club to contribute to it, and try and do these perhaps once a week. You can just update the same piece, you take the same copy, use the same headlines, and update on the latest. Members love to read this. We get a lot of questions on pitch here about the rankings. You might have seen this on your website. Every site has a ranking. And it's an algorithm between content and traffic. And by far, the clubs with the most content are always up there in the traffic. Clubs that don't publish, their traffic's very low. Clubs that do publish and publish regularly, their traffic jumps. Your members love reading things like this. They really do. Good local news that they're part of, they enjoy reading, and they'll keep coming back to your website. Next one is you can add a link to the homepage. So Chinar, I've done this. You do it on part of the in the settings of the club website, in the design area. You can add a link, call it something, donate to Chinar, it could be donate to the NHS, help raise money, fundraising page, whatever you want, you can put it in here and link it straight to the page. These links are really effective. They get lots and lots of click-throughs, widely used, a good tool to have on every club website. It's a little thing, again, takes 2 or 3 minutes to set up, so make sure you put a link in the top of your website. Next one is weekly news item. I mentioned it earlier, can't emphasize it enough. Really get in the habit of trying to write a weekly update, especially if there's no sport on. You're probably having lots of meetings and messages behind the scenes. You might be getting emails from the FA, the ECB, the RFL, the RFU. Copy and paste that information onto your club website. Copy and paste the information from the league onto your club website. It doesn't have to be huge, it doesn't have to be long, but keeping your members up to date is really important. And at the same time, drop in the fact that you're fundraising. Put a link in there, tell them about the latest target, what you're doing. Within each Pitcher Club website, you have a membership registration tool, and hopefully in there you have hundreds of members registered. I think our biggest club's on about 4,000 registered members on their club website now. But it varies. The average on Pitcher is between 350 and 400, I think. It's around that mark. So you can go into the tool, in the communications tool in your control panel. You can create an email. You can talk about your fundraising. You can put a link in there to the fundraising page, and you can send it out to your entire database. We recommend doing that every time you post a news item. You can even put the news item, copy and paste it straight into the email. Do it at the same time. It takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. These things will all improve the amount of fundraising you have. And again, try where you can do this sort of thing weekly. Social media is pretty obvious. All your members, I would imagine, will have some social media accounts. Mums, the older folks are on Facebook. The younger ones are on TikTok now and all of those. I feel very old when I'm showing TikTok because it's terrifying, but everybody has a social media account. The key ones you should be hitting are Facebook and Twitter and maybe Instagram. Twitter's huge for football and live scores and fans, etc. So use that. I'm sure you already are. But you can publicize and link to your donations page on social media. And again, try and make it fun. We've got here a donation that was done on the 29th of April. Asim donated £200. Fantastic. He's put his name on this and the amount, so he's obviously very chuffed that he's donated this. You know, you can put that name and his photo himself, copy and paste that, and put it onto your Facebook or Twitter feed. Thank him. Asim, great gesture, pal. That's more runs you've scored in 3 seasons. Something fun like that would be great. The members will get behind it. Seeing other members contribute and seeing other members do something tends to create other members to do things. All the clubs I've been in, all the teams I've played in, it's very much a follow the sheep mentality. If you get the 3 or 4 cool people from each team to do something, everyone else quickly follows. So try and use that. And even reach out to those members. You'll probably have some members that are incredibly popular and have a big social network, and they tend to be the noisiest people in the WhatsApp group. Ring them up, have a quiet word with them and say, look, pal, I need you to make a lot of noise about this. I need you to talk to all the members and try and get a donate. I want you talking about this every day on your WhatsApp group and really try and push it. I'm sure you can all think of certain girls in the hockey team or lads in the rugby team or certain good characters at the football club and cricket club who can drive that. Get hold of those people, speak to them and say, look, pal, it'd be really good if you can help the club raise £2,000, £5,000, £10,000 right now. Get on there, promote this page, make it your little pet project. So reach out to those sorts of people. WhatsApp's a big one. Across all clubs, there'll be WhatsApp groups for players, there'll be WhatsApp groups for parents, there'll be WhatsApp groups for each team. So reach out to your coaches and ask your coaches who have WhatsApp groups, all their parents in, to share the post in that WhatsApp group. Ask them to share it and share it weekly, and ask them to directly to say to all the parents, hey parents, you know, we do a wonderful job looking after your kids. You drop them off and we look after them for 3 or 4 hours, and we treat them all these fantastic skills about how to play sport, and then you come and pick them up. Well, this is your time to perhaps donate £5 or £10 to the club to keep us going. I have no question that the vast majority of parents wouldn't hesitate. They'll reach out, they'll donate something to the club, and they'll fill in that bit from what they're not normally spending, because some of the parents might come in, have a cup of tea, a coffee, a beer, a bacon roll. They're not spending that money at the moment, so ask them to make up for that by donating online. The key one here is getting into the coaches WhatsApp groups. Get all your coaches to copy and paste the link from the donations page into that WhatsApp group and share it with all the parents. Next one's a really good story. So local press. The local press don't have any local sport to talk about at the moment, so their back few pages are pretty empty. So if you go to them with a good sports story, they will bite your hand off. So first of all, get your house in order. You need to set up your donations page. You need to write a nice news item about your donations page. Why are you raising this money? You need a target. You ideally need some money already going through, so you should have sent it out to your members already, so you've got a couple of £100 in there. You then need to create a short press release, and there's a template on the blog, which I'll come on to in a minute, with a photo of the club or the chairman or something that's going to look good in the press, and then send that to your local paper. So my local paper here is the Springbok Guardian, a phenomenal newspaper in Cleckheaton. And if you send it on a Wednesday, it should be in print for the Friday weekend. They'll probably ring you back. They'll probably want to ask you some questions. Fantastic. Make sure you get the URL right. Make sure you've got your URL set up and you've got the donations page correct. And tell a story. Tell why you're doing it. Tell them the importance of the club in the local community. Tell them how many kids you look after. Tell them how many teams you have. Tell them how big the club is. Tell them, the success the club has had in recent years. The under-10s are undefeated for 3 years. The first team have got promotion. Really sell the club. Once it appears in the local press, you'll soon find the past players and past parents reach out. So we're not trying to contact your active members here. We're trying to contact those members that used to be members. So mums and dads, where the kids are now moved off to university or left the area, the mum and dad still lives there, and they remember when Jack was part of the club. So reach out to them, and no question, they will donate money. We've got a great example here. This is a netball club that used Pitch Hero. They appeared in their local paper, the Teesside Gazette. And their donations went through the roof. And it was just because they appeared here. I spoke to the club and they said, yeah, it was all the mums that used to be part of the club. They came forward and they helped support the club. So really reach out to the local community. You'll be amazed how far your club reaches into the local community. And the final one, and this is Barnes. Now, everybody might not be able to get Johnny Wilkinson. I appreciate that's a bit of a tall ask. But if you have a chat at a committee level, there'll be some past players who are high profile that once made an appearance for the club. There might be somebody who came and did an after dinner speech, who you paid an absolute fortune to in a brown paper envelope, and they spoke for 15 minutes. Reach out to those folks and say to them, look, we're doing this fundraising piece. You came to the club a couple of years ago. You did a great speech for us. Or you're a past player, or you had a brother who was a past player who's now gone to play for the Premiership, or know somebody who knows somebody. Reach out to that connection, that community, and get them to record a video. Now, it's very unlikely that they'll post it on their own website. Johnny Wilkinson's probably not going to post an article about Barnes Rugby Club on his social media feed that has millions of followers. But what he probably will do is record a short video that's 20 or 30 seconds long, send it to you on WhatsApp, and then you can upload that video to your own club Twitter feed or Instagram feed or Facebook feed. And there you go, that's great. Barnes did this with a whole bunch of people. They had lots of ex-England players who live around the London area. There's quite a funny story apparently that there's a team at Barnes where in the same team there's Lawrence Delalio's son, Jason Leonard's son, and somebody else, and the three of them, former England World Cup winners, just stand on the line while some poor coach is sweating, teaching their sons how to play rugby. You might not be as fortunate as that rugby club, but I'm sure if you get your heads on, you can certainly think of a bunch of people who are connected to your club who you could reach out to and get them to create a short video, put that video on your social media and boost it out there. And that's it. So I'll come to the summary. I'll sum up for you 3 points. First of all, set up the page correctly. Make sure you've got a reason to do your fundraising. It could be for the club. It could be for the local NHS. It could be for a changing room development. It could be for a new clubhouse, or it could be COVID-19. Always put a target on there so people know what they're aiming for and how well you're doing. Always use a photo. Worst case scenario, it's the club logo. Best case scenario, it's something that's going to inspire people. Switch on the tool that allows you to display the donors. It's optional, so it's up to them whether they use it or not, but that means your page is set up and ready to go. Then you need to get into the local PR, the news writing mode. Write a news item every week. Always share it with social media and try and get other people to share it with social media too. Email your current members an update every week, telling them how well you're doing, how close you are to reaching your target, and reach out to the local press. Reach out to those mums that used to bring their kids down to play sport. Reach out to those dads who used to bring their daughters and sons down to be members of your local club. You'll find there's thousands of them. If you can get those thousands of people in your local community all donate £5 or £10, then you're really winning. Then the secret is, I'm afraid, is repeat, repeat, repeat. Keep going. Make it fun, make it interesting. There's lots of different sources of content you can use, whether that's information from the governing body about what's happening, whether that's information from the local league about what fixtures are going to happen. The other piece that we've seen clubs doing is if they have members who are volunteering, like you're driving a van for the NHS, we've got a picture here, a member of staff who's driving a minibus for the NHS. Repeat those stories. Share those stories online. It's fantastic, it's positive, it's fun, and it's information that your members really want to listen to. So that's it. That's the end of the webinar. I hope that was okay. 26 minutes, not too bad. If you've got any questions now, you can add those in the bottom there. There's no questions listed at the moment, but if you do, please type them in. Like I said at the start, Pitch Hero is open for business. So if there's anything we can do to help your club, please do talk to us, reach out, usual channels. You can book a call with your account manager, or you can email the team at support@pitchhero.com and they'll come back to you. Check out the Pitch Hero blog. We've got lots of things here. If you come down, you'll see the ultimate marketing plan to boost fundraising. You click on that, and within this blog post, there are lots of templates you can use. So if you download all templates, you come down here, there's a zip folder, and you'll see lots of images you can use on social media that I've already created for you. So things like these banners here, they've already been created for you. So you can use these on Instagram, you can use them on Facebook. We've even written a news article for you to put on your club website. There's also a press release here. Let me open that. So this is a pre-written press release, which you can fill out the missing bits and send that off to your local press. So check out the blog, make use of these tools. And like I say, Pitch Hero is here to help you. So if you've got any questions, please do reach out to a member of staff. Here it is. Press release, insert a nice club photo, add in your name, tweak it a bit, change it around a bit, add in a few quotes, make sure you have a name, email address, and phone number. They pretty much always ring you back. But get these sent off and you'll soon see it flying. I've got my first question in. Let's have a look. Is it possible to get a copy of the slides from this presentation? Yes, it is. Robert, I've never been asked that. That's a wonderful thing. If you put in your email address in that chat box, Robert, I'll email it to you right now. Great. I've got your email there, Robert. It's on my way to you. You'll have it in the next 2 minutes. Okay, guys, if that's it, we've got one more question. Oh no, it's the right spelling of your email. No worries. I'll send it to the last one. Right, guys, that's it. If there's no more else, we'll say good night. Have a good night. Stay in touch, and we wish you all the best. Thank you very much.